1 minute warning has been given on pre-grid for race group 4, WEISSACH CUP. They'll come out, do a pace lap, and then begin their 30-minute race. Last call for the helicopter rides as we get ready to go racing again. If you'd like an amazing bird's eye view of Porsche Rennsport Reunion 5, specialized helicopter offering flights over Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca until 2 p.m. this afternoon. Well, let us set the field for you. Dick, you start. Thank you. Starting from the pole position, car number 2, Bruce Canepa, Scotts Valley, 1969 Porsche 917K, alongside it. Car number 8, another 69 Porsche 917, Charles Nierberg from Dallas, Texas.
Inside row 2 is Indianapolis' Chris McAllister in the third of the Gulf Wire 917K coupes. He is car number 21. On his hip is Gunnar Jeanette, car number 25. That's a 1969 908 Longtail.
Inside the third row, starting 5th, Dinner Tires, Sao Paulo, Brazil, 69 Porsche 908/2, alongside number 37, Reginald Howell from Corona Del Mar, and a 67 Porsche 910.
Inside row 4 is Don Anderson out of San Diego with his 1964 Bobsey Porsche SR3, car number 65. On his hip is car number 74, Wayne Carter out of Woodinville, Washington, in a 1966 Porsche Carrera 6.
Scheduled to be alongside number 20, Cameron Healy, Portland, Oregon, in a 1970 Porsche 908-3.
And the last car in this field, if he makes it, is car number 264, Richard Griot's car. Richard's out of Milton, Washington, and he brought his very pretty 1969 Porsche 908-02 Spider. We saw that car run on Friday in practice, but it did not race yesterday, so we don't know if it had a mechanical. Do not know if it'll make the field. We'll let you know when we get the field back to us.
And that's not going to be long as they're coming out of turn 10 now. We'll watch for the pace car to take the exit, and it does, so it's going to be up to the front row. Bruce Canepa, Charles Nierberg, and a pair of 917 Gulf Wire cars.
Now we can now see on camera that our last competitor is the 910. So those last 3 cars did not make the grid. Got green, 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 and Bruce Canepa jumps into the lead in the 917. The car number 2, they head down to the Andretti hairpin, and Gunnar Jeanette, who is a good wheel, has got his 908-02 stuck up there in between a couple of the 917s as they pull into, and Gunnar is still fighting for that third position with Chris McAllister's 917. Meanwhile, Canepa is checking out halfway through.
Of course, that's Nierberg behind Canepa and Jeanette behind him. McAllister down in 4th, I believe.
Yep, that was Jeanette. Oh, Nierberg is now smoking really terribly.
Time.
That's his left rear tire that's smoking, so there's something, looks like it's impeding.
Well, it looks like it could be coming from the engine.
Yeah, corner work is a motor tire, but I agree with you, Dick. It could be engine. Corner worker said tire, but they're going to black flag him.
We got a shot of the back of the car, and it looks like the smoke was coming from the center of the car. Top break for Charles Nierberg, car number 80, started in the front row. He'll probably bring it back into the pits this time by. He's leading Gunnar Jeanette coming down the hill. Behind him is Bruce Canepa. They let him go by. Now they're canceling the mechanical black flag on car number 8. I'm not sure what's going on, but we'll have to wait and see what develops, and the smoke that was there is dissipated and is gone.
Yeah, corner workers think that's rubber, and they think somehow maybe it's going to sort.
Could have been rubbing on the bodywork, and they can come around. It's going to be Nierberg leading the first lap in the number 8 car with Gunnar Jeanette right behind him. And oh, more smoke again from Nierberg. Look at it pour out of the back of that car as he goes down to the Andretti hairpin.
Okay, they're going to pull car 8 in, but they are going to give him a mechanical meatball.
That does not look like tire smoke today from the video shot we're getting. It seems if he was pushing oil or smoke out of the back of it when he got off the power.
Meanwhile, we have to give a kudo to Gunnar Jeanette, who, in the midst of a little consternation created by Nürburgring smoke, Gunnar Jeanette moved into 2nd place overall, just ahead of Bruce Canepa, and his car number 2, who in turn is just in front of the other
And Jeanette just took the lead going up the hill. Maybe Nürburg slowed due to that mechanical black and mechanical problems with his car. But your new leader as they head down the hill is Gunnar Jeanette and that long-tail Porsche number 25.
Now Gunnar's car has got a 3-liter motor in it, whereas the 917s are pushing 5 liters. So Gunnar, who's a really good wheel, is going to get this car off on handling at the front of the group. It'll be almost impossible, we would guess, for him to maintain the lead.
Looks like Nürburg's staying out. He's not pitting.
Okay, start-finish definitely gave the meatball, which is what we call the black flag with an orange ball in the middle. That's for a mechanical. That's a mechanical black flag, as opposed to a typical black flag, which is get off the course and stop, please.
I was watching Nürburg's car as he came by, and smoke was coming from in front of the left rear tire at their wheel well, in front of the left rear tire.
And Dick, that raises the question, is it the tire rubbing, because it doesn't seem to do it all the time, or is it oil escaping up there? If he had oil on his left rear tire, we wouldn't be seeing him at the front of the pack. So the chances are it's not oil. Maybe increases the chances of it being some kind of tire rub.
How much oil do they carry? Is it a dry sump system?
Absolutely. All Porsche, since the 356 engines, all Porsche engines have been dry sump. And because of their air-cooled motors, they carry a huge amount of oil. We should actually call them oil and air-cooled motors.
Sounds like 8 has received the mechanical black flag. And it is Gunnar Jeanette still in front, and Canepa has moved up to second. It looks like Nürburg is pitting in the number 8 car. McAllister moves to third in 21. Piers in 11 is fourth. And it's going to be Reg Howell in fifth in the number 37 car. As Nürburg comes up into the racing pit lane and stops his pit down at the end by turn 11. Crew member raises the door on the side of the car. He's talking to the driver, trying to let him know what's going on, or maybe trying to find out what's going on.
Yeah, they have the rear hatch up on that 917, so they're investigating on what's going on at the back of the car, whether it's engine or tire. Meanwhile, back on course, Bruce Canepa is strolling his way slowly back up to catch up with Gunnar Jeanette. Gunnar is keeping the power down. Well, you know, it looked to me like Bruce just slowed. Looked like Bruce just slowed. He did. And Chris McAllister has gone around Bruce Canepa, so we're going to opine that a Canepa has some kind of mechanical issue with his car, because typically Bruce is a fair amount faster than Chris.
And he has turned the fastest lap in the race so far. Canepa in the number 2 car with the best time of 1:35.305.
And the whole field's down versus yesterday. Yesterday, Bruce set a fast time of 1:32.03, so they are 3.5 seconds off their pace from yesterday. Okay, so Chris pulls out and goes around Gunnar Jeanette on the pit straight, so Chris McAllister takes over the point in car number 21.
But he didn't pass him until after they crossed the start-finish line. And now Jeanette takes it back down to the Andretti hairpin.
Yeah, Chris McAllister went wide under braking going into the Andretti hairpin. Gunnar said thank you very much, dove right under him, and has taken back off. So Gunnar Jeanette in the 908 Longtail. And 3 little leaders back on it.
Canepa in the number 2 car just kind of hanging back in third spot, watching to see what's going to happen in front of him. Don't believe there's anything wrong with this car. The top 3 cars are... He goes around McAllister now. As they get over into turn 5, I believe. Yeah, they're starting up the hill. So Canepa to second spot in the 2 car, right behind Gunnar Jeanette in the long tail number 25.
Okay, it's now a pretty sure guess that Bruce decided to back out of his minute to check something, or he missed a shift, or was a little balky on his shift. Well, going up the hill, Canepa slows again, and McAllister comes back around. So either we're getting just a nice demonstration run and the 917s have started to swap positions around, or Bruce has a problem going up the hill of some kind. Be hard to imagine what that might be. Maybe spark not advancing.
Jeanette in the 908 Longtail. He's driving that car hard. You can see him slide it a little bit in turn 10.
Oh, he's working his hands hard. That steering wheel is at full effect.
Little wiggle as he exited that corner. Had to correct very, very quickly. But he's the leader coming up the front straightaway right now.
All right, Chris McAllister powers by him going into one as they head down for Andretti. McAllister's back in the lead. Let's see if he throttles it down easily enough this time. Bruce Canepa follows right in behind Chris McAllister. And suddenly, Gunnar Jeanette goes from first to third. McAllister's now in the lead. His fast laps of 1:37.5. Canepa's is a 1:35.3, so we're going to opine that unless Canepa has something wrong with his car, he'll be back in front of Chris quickly.
Well, I think that pass coming up the start-finish straightaway displayed exactly what you talked about earlier with the Gulf wire cars, the 917s with 5-liter motors, and Jeanette with a 3-liter motor in that long tail.
Yeah, that's a lot of horsepower, a lot of displacement, and mostly a lot of torque to give away. Okay, we're now starting to encounter lap traffic for the first time as they pull up behind the 906 of Charlie Harris.
Then we have the cars for race group 5, the Carrera Trophy cars to the pre-grid. Cars in race group 5 to the pre-grid now, please. McAllister and Canepa 21 and 2 in that order as they come down the hill through 10 and now into turn 11. Coming up the start-finish straightaway, Gunnar Jeanette in pursuit in car 25. Reports that it was tire rub on Nürburg's car and he will be retiring. Tough break for Charles Nürburg in that beautifully prepared number 8 917. Looking at the rest of the field, back to 4 spot, car number 11, Pires, and Harburg running 5th in the 6th place car. Then it's Reg Howell in 37, 6th. Tyne in 28 is 7th. Greg Campbell, 174, running 8th. Alexander, 75, 9th. And Anderson in car 65 completes the top 10. Canepa still with the fastest lap up on the board, a 135.305.
Okay, here come our leaders onto the pit straight. And Chris McAllister has opened up a good 75-yard lead over Bruce Canepa's car. I continue to believe that Canepa must have some kind of little mechanical that's dogging him. And Kevin's back up on Bruce's tail. So Kevin Jeanette, the 908 Longtail, still very much in the mix, running a very strong third. And in the opening laps of this race, it's an excellent clinic on the handling characteristics, A, of his driving style, and B, of the 908. Those Longtails aren't the most efficient cars on a twisty course because they do not maximize the downforce like a short-tail 908 or a 917K would. The Longtails were really built for Le Mans. They're down the back straight on Mulsanne Straight. The Longtail gave you very effective aerodynamics and a much higher top speed, allowing Porsche to top 200 miles an hour with that body design. The short tails, on the other hand, top out at a much lower top speed, but get a lot more grip in the back end. Dick points out that I'm calling Gunner Kevin. Kevin is the father who helps build and restore these cars and used to race in the day. Gunner's the hot shoe in the family.
In the Prescott, you were talking about the speeds of Porsches down the Mulsanne Straight at Le Mans, and before they put that chicane in the middle of it, reading in the notes somewhere that I received prior to the event that I don't remember which model Porsche it was, but it did hit a top speed of just a little over 240 miles per hour down the Mulsanne Straight.
You should need a pilot's license for that.
What you need a pilot's license for is breaking the sound barrier on the ground. And I was up the Black Rock Desert when Richard Noble's driver Andy Green did it up there. He was in a mano shootout with Craig Breedlove up there in the desert, same spot that Burning Man is held.
Now that's quite a show. We need to do a call out to Peter Harburg out of Brisbane, Australia, who is out there with the 1973 Porsche 917K. That's the pretty long-tailed roadster in the Sunoco colors. The Can-Am Championship colors and team car from 1973 under Roger Penske's aegis. A beautiful, beautiful car, and we really admire Harburg for getting it out here and driving it at speed. Okay, Bruce got his mechanical sorted, or he just decided he'd had enough fun dicing back in the pack, and so Canepa has moved to the front, and he has dropped his fast lap by 2 seconds, so he's now down to a 1:39.96, back on his way to where he was running yesterday, which got his fast lap yesterday was 1:32, so he's now set his fast lap for the weekend at a 1:31.96. So Bruce got himself wound up, got the car sorted, and he is back off and flying.
We are halfway through this race for the cars in Group 4 WEISSACH Cup. May we have the cars for race Group 5, the Carrera Trophy cars to the pre-grid. Cars in race Group 5 to the pre-grid now, please. Getting reports of smoke from the center rear of Gunnar Jeanette's car, number 25, that long-tail 908. And as Prescott said, center smoke from one of these cars is not good. But watch him next time by. 7th and 8th place just going by us now. Stein in 28 and Campbell in 174.
And here come our leaders up to the stripe. Bruce Canepa crosses the stripe. Did not set a new fast lap, but is still running a full second and a half faster than Chris McAllister. And he's about 4 seconds under Gunnar Jeanette. Powering up the hill, we did not see any oil burn off or blow by from Kevin Jeanette's car. Got to give a call out to Victor Skurmatz. Of course, Vic's an old pro racer. He's been racing SCCA almost since SCCA was invented in 356s. And Neil Alexander, Dinner Perez came up right behind him in the 9082. Victor went way, way, way wide at the top of the corkscrew to let him by. The sports prototype drivers are all being very considerate of each other. We just had Greg Campbell wave a car by, so they are giving points and waving people by whenever they can. Given the value of these cars and the speed differential we have between these cars, extremely helpful driving. Oh man, we just had it. 910 kind of lost it coming down 9 and went side to side against one of the Elvas. That was Greg Campbell's Elva Porsche Mark 7 that went side to side against car number 28 with Stephen Fine's Porsche 910.
Well, Fine able to drive it out of the dirt there.
All right, we're going to give Stephen credit.
He got his hand up in the air. He's going to pit.
Yep. He's right there at pit entrance. So Stephen kind of lost it coming into the bottom of the corkscrew, got a little sideways. He and Campbell kind of knocked sides, and both of them went off track. Both of them were able to gather it up and continue. No flat tires, no real serious body damage.
No, there were three cars that spun off. The first one spun off driver's left, second one spun off driver's right, and then the third one spun, and there was no contact between any of them. And it looks like two of them have kept going, but the number 28 car has stopped at the pits. Still Canepa out front on the number 2 car, being pursued by McAllister in 21, and Gunnar Jeanette 25, Perry's in 11, and Reg Howell now up to 5th in the 37 car.
Well, Gunnar Jeanette has set a new fast lap for him for this weekend in the 908 Longtail, getting down to 1:35.4. His best lap time previously been 1:36.2.
Here's Jeanette just now coming out of turn 11 up the front straightaway. Your third place car. I don't see any smoke from that car. That's number 25.
Stephen Fine is back on the course. He's taking his 1967 Porsche 910 back after having a little side-to-side.
Canepa with a very comfortable lead has now completed 14 laps in that number 2 Gulf Wire Porsche 917. Chris McAllister running second. In an identical car, number 21. Gunnar Jeanette just goes by your third place car, number 25. We've got about 7.5 minutes left in this race. These are 30-minute races this afternoon. So far it's been the 917. Jeanette led for a while in that 908 Longtail, but Canepa and McAllister and Nürburgring until they had the tire rub problem. The 3 917s have been dominant in this particular field.
We can comment now, I think, that Bruce Canepa is back out in front with a very healthy lead. Bruce, of course, is a very accomplished driver and a hard charger. Bruce likes to run out front, and he is a very accomplished driver. All right, Didier Series has just had a problem. We saw him going up the hill, and as he started up, there was some oil blew out of the back. He immediately waved the car behind him around, pulled the car off into the kitty litter, and he is getting out of the car.
We're on our final lap. Bruce Canepa is going to get the checkered flag.
They were probably going to checker this maybe just one lap early because of the 908 off over in 6. But by the time they do their cool town lap, we'll be right on our half hour. We'll be on schedule.
Rest of the field being flagged off now. The clock ticks off to 30 minutes. The 30 minutes are gone. Canepa, your winner. McAllister comes across the line second in the 21 917. and Gunnar Jeanette. And the 908, number 25, crosses the line to take the checker for third spot. Reg Howell, fourth in car 37. Fifth spot goes to Campbell in 174, Gregory Campbell, and his Elva Porsche Mark 7S. Those are your top 5.